everybody. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a great spring break. I missed making videos for you guys, so I'm happy to be back. We're going to start a new book today called Paul Bunyan, and it's in your text collection, page 22. So if you want to get that out and follow along, that would be great. So let's go over what we're going to read about today. We're going to read a couple of pages in our story, Paul Bunyan. And it says, one of our questions, how do readers determine the central message, lesson, or moral of the story? And if you remember that word lesson, what does the author want to teach us? He wants to teach us something. We're going to try to figure out what is that lesson that we are going to learn from reading this. Okay, we're also going to talk about our opinion. That is what we believe, what we think about story characters and events that we may find strange. So there's going to be some things in here about the characters and events that we might find strange or a little weird. I wonder what it's going to be about. Okay, so let's get started, and then we'll go over some of our questions that we're going to do. Paul Bunyan. Whoa, he looks kind of big, doesn't he? Growing up, Paul Bunyan was always big. I was right. When he was born, his first cries broke every window for miles around, and that was only the beginning. His crib was a rowboat with rockers, and his baths flooded the house until his parents gave up and started washing him outside. But Paul wasn't done growing, not by a long shot. It took the wool from a whole flock of sheep just to knit him one sweater. By the time he started school, he wore potato sacks for socks. You know how big a potato sack is? It holds a lot of potatoes, and he wore those for socks. Oh my gosh. And used wagon wheels to button his shirts. Of course, so much growing made Paul hungry. He ate 40 bowls of porridge for breakfast, and by the time he was done cleaning up, he was hungry all over again. Oh my goodness. So you're going to see on the Google form, your first question is, describe Paul. Describe Paul Bunyan. What does he look like? What does he do? Tell me two things. What does he look like? And name one thing that he does. It can be from any of these paragraphs, okay? When Paul was 15, the winter was so cold, even the snow turned blue. Ooh, that's a little strange. One morning, Paul found a young ox. There he is. Half buried in a snowdrift. If that was not enough, the ox was as blue as the snow itself. Another strange thing. My poor little Babe, he said, and that's how Babe got his name. Paul never found out where Babe came from, but it didn't matter. Paul was just happy to have a new friend. You can tell how happy he is. Babe was really strong. In one of their first jobs, Paul hitched him up to a crooked road that needed fixing. Paul, he said, and Babe pulled. The road was pretty stubborn, but so were Paul and Babe. By the time the sun set, they had that road straightened out just fine. Good work, Paul said to Babe, and Babe snorted back. They made a good team. So they stayed out all night fixing the road. Okay, so now after you do the first question, your second question is going to be, how are Paul and Babe alike? Right down here. So what's the same about them? Okay, so look at that page for question 2 and the page before it for question 1. And we will pick up with our story tomorrow. Okay? Bye, boys and girls.